Hello, Booktube. This is Alan. I have been tagged by Jason at Byways and Bookland to do the Meet the Booktuber tag. This tag was originally done by What Victoria Reads. A lot of times when I do these videos, well, right before I do the videos, I always have in my mind what I'm going to say and the books I'm going to present, and just go over the entire video. But then when I make the video and upload it, I forget what to say about one particular. Oh, I forgot to say. It's like when I did the tag for, as Steve read this, I have placed a book on the second shelf of this coffee table where the tripod is, and I forgot to include it in the and it wasn't till after I made the video I was like, oh no, I forgot to include this one. And so that's the way I am. I just think of the video that I can make all through the day, and generally what I think about. And it's sort of like when I write a story, I just think of the story all day long. What the characters are going to do, how they're going to go about the first, the paragraph, the first sentence, and yeah, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. But that's just me. So the first question is name, age, and location. Excuse me. The name is Alan Raswell. The first name is spelled correctly, and it's the only way to spell Alan. I don't know what was wrong with these mothers spelling their children Allen. There's something wrong with those people. You should stay away from them. I had one story about this. When I was working at JCPenney home office up in Plano, Texas, they had a reception, and where they honored a female woman who excelled in what her particular field. And one year they honored Catherine Graham, and I got to meet her. But this particular year they were honoring Helen Thomas, who was the White House correspondent, White House reporter, correspondent, who did work for Associated Press, I believe, and they were honoring her. And it was done after work. It was 8 to 4 job, so I got off at 4, so I was able to go. And I worked in the mailroom at the time, so I had my badge on and just went to the reception. And the CEO at the time, when I was there, was Alan Questrom. And he spelled his first name Allan. So they had 2 L's in it. And my name only had 1 L. It's the correct way. And so he saw me at the reception. Then he comes up to me and to introduce himself. And he goes, oh, you spell your name the same way I do, but I have an extra L in my name. It's the only thing I think of that, well, you need to get the L out. I didn't say that out loud, but I should have. See what he would have thought. Age. I just turned 60 back in November. And I remember the time when John F. Kennedy got shot. My mother said I cried when John F. Kennedy got shot. Family was living in Fort Worth at the time, and I was about 4 or 5 years old. And she said the reason I cried was not because the president got shot, but because they interrupted the cartoons on television. Very traumatic experience for a child. They wouldn't care about the president getting shot. They just wanted to watch cartoons. It's like, you interrupted the cartoons. What's wrong with you people? Location. I guess this means city, hamlet, village, rather than location where I'm filming this was a bedroom. And so yeah, it's Dallas, Texas. I grew up in Fort Worth. Excuse me. I grew up in Fort Worth. And I was born in Fort Worth. We moved to Tyler, Texas, then down to Bossier City, Louisiana, then up to Dallas in 1966, and that's where I lived ever since. I don't like it here. The summers are 6 months long, and the temperature stays in the 90s, upper 90s, and we have 4 months of spring, 4 months of fall, 1 week of winter. Next question. Siblings. I have 3 older brothers. My oldest one is 67. The next is 65. And the other one is 62. Work. What do you do for work? I am a security guard. And the post called Don Miguel Mexican Foods. I used to have and it's going to be a permanent post, hopefully. I worked at a temporary post over by Love Field Airport. I was watching a security guard for a warehouse that was going to, that had nothing in it. And there was no zombies, no vampires, no rats, no large spiders, a couple cockroaches, but and so I would just sit there for 8 to 10 hours and just read. Somebody came up to the door, and there was no deliveries to take care of, and all the time I was thinking, in 5 years I'll get replaced by a robot. Do I have any kids? And the answer is no. I've never been married. And I always get this question when people always ask me, well, do you want kids? Well, how come you're not married? And things of this nature. And the pressure of getting married comes more from people in the church rather than people outside the church. I remember one time when I visited his church, and were having a special thing in the worship center, and recognizing single people. So I stood up in this because they asked singles to stand up in church, and I stood up, and this lady, when I sat down, this older lady said, "Oh, I could have it. I get you a daughter for you." And yeah, the pressure comes from mostly from the church. And I remember when I lived in Allen, Texas, for a short while, this next door neighbor was telling me that him and his wife were married for 9 years before they got children. And he said that the pressure to have children came from churches. So, the next question, do you have any pets? We had a dog. and we had to put it down back in February. It was like a coon dog, and the every time I come home late at night from my job, the I go in the front door around 11, 12 o'clock at night, and I go by the kitchen table and I hear this thumping, and it would be our dog. He knew exactly what time I came home, and it'd be underneath the kitchen table, and he'd thump his tail every time. And currently we have cats. They're not our cats. They're the neighborhood cats, and they just hang out in our front yard and hang out in our backyard. And my brother and myself feed the cats tuna fish. Get cans of tuna fish, just set it out there. So I guess, and we have like 4 or 5 cats that just, every time that our front door opens, they come running to the front door, thinking they get fed. There's also a chicken. The next door neighbor has some chickens, and that chicken will come over the fence and start walking in our front yard. And sometimes I'll go out to the backyard and see that chicken up in the trees asleep. Strange things though. And we've always had dogs. When I was growing up, we never had cats. And I remember one incident with a dachshund we had. There's a named Fritz, and during the summertime, Fritz liked to get at the June bugs, and they were flying around. He would grab them, snap at the June bugs, grab one, and chew it up, and then spit it out. So one time whole family was in the living room watching TV, and Fritz was on the floor, and I was watching Fritz, and all of a sudden he goes like this, trying to, cause something went around his head. He tried snapping at it, and so what he did, he got up and jumped onto the couch and sat next to my mother, and I was sitting next to so I was sitting next to my mother, and my brothers were on another couch, and my father was in his easy chair. We were watching this, and it was real quiet. We were just noise of the TV on, and all of a sudden, the dog, Fritz, just leaps up into the air, snaps his jaws, and lands on his feet. And he had caught a June bug that nobody saw. It was flying in the air, and he's just jumped off the couch, and you watched him as he kind of just chewed it a little bit and then spit it out. Can I drive? Yes, I can drive, but I can only drive what they call a automatic. I can't drive a stick. Pastor of a church I attended gave me his car, and it had a stick in it, and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't drive it. I think it had like a 3 or 4. I'm trying to shift it, and then using the clutch, and I always have problems with it. So yeah, there's the automatic, which I've had several. I don't have a car now, but I've had several cars in the past. What was my favorite subject in school? That's a hard question because I really didn't have a favorite subject in school. Um, I enjoyed some in school. I remember one year I had taken wood shop and class, and I was in the ninth grade, and the teacher Bell, his name Mr. Bell, he was teaching us woodworking skills and everything with the bandsaw and every Christmas he would make these wooden crosses, and he would put on wooden cross the words "Jesus saves." He would brand it into that into the horizontal portion of the cross, and I still have mine. And yeah, I really didn't have a favorite subject, but that's the only thing I can think of. It was my favorite color. Well, when I was I didn't have a favorite color growing up, and then a lady at one of the jobs I had asked me, well, didn't ask, and said to me, well, yellow looks good on you. And I suppose that she's right, because I used to have real blonde hair. It's not brownish blonde, and kind of lightens up my face. And so I went with those type of colors. And I used to be, when I moved out of the house and was on my own, I would always buy bright colors all the time. I wouldn't buy dark colors. You know, your blues, light blues actually, reds, the light red, not the dark red. I would never buy a dark color. And I always buy the clothes, especially the short sleeve shirts. Excuse me. And this goes back to being born in November, because when you're born in the winter months, you're you get a lot of winter clothes for your birthday and for Christmas. And thing is, as I said, that the summer's here 6 months long, and so I have to buy my own short sleeve shirts, because I'm always getting all these sweaters and hoodies and coats and jackets for the winter months, and the winter only lasts one week here, and it's like, and long sleeve shirts, and so I had to go out and buy my own short sleeve shirts, t-shirts. And when I moved out, I bought a lot of Calvin Klein, Izod, Tommy Hilfiger, and of course, sort of a brand. And I remember when I went to a Central Market, which is a large supermarket, where they have like 50 brands of ketchup that range from like $2 all the way up to $40, 100 different types of cheeses, there's 100 different types of wines and on and on. And it's like they just don't have just one, Heinz ketchup. They have to have like 30 different brands. And and I was in there and I bought this lamb sacks and it's made up of dinners for two. And they had like different things like salmon or chicken, and, with your vegetables and a roll. And and it used to be like $8, and now I think it's like $16. And you really don't get that many calories when you buy this. So I purchased it and I went outside, and it was cold outside, so I was wearing this brown jacket. And the jacket was sort of dirty, a little dirty. And I went to the bus stop, and a lady was there, and I started talking to her. And first thing out of her mouth was, "Are you homeless?" And it got me thinking about about the character in To Kill a Mockingbird, where Scout takes Deal out of the courthouse, and there's this guy there that has a sack. And everybody knows his bottle in it. Everybody believes that he is a drunkard, and it's like you're judging people by the way they dress or the way they say or what they say, and that's what that lady was doing. Just because I was going to ride the bus and they had this jacket on that was kind of dirty, and she was judging me just because of that and said, "Are you homeless?" And there's a booktuber named Emily Fox who has who had a beauty channel, and then before she had a booktube channel, and she was asked on the Q&A one time, which one would you give up? Would you give up your beauty channel, or would you give up your booktube channel? And she said, my booktube channel, because she knows how she was treated when she wore makeup and went into the store. Then when she didn't wear makeup and went into that same store, she was treated differently. And so if you're wearing like a Calvin Klein shirt or a polo or Izod, and yeah, and you go into a certain store, and you're not wearing those type of status symbols, you are treated differently. Especially in the churches, you're actually treated differently, which is very sad. So, and right now I wear like color clothes, but there's not. I'm getting old enough where I really don't care anymore. Excuse me. Okay, next is smell. What's a favorite smell? I like a lot of smells. I like the smell after when it starts raining. I don't know, when it's light raining. I like to go out there and I like to go outside and stand in that type of rain. And the smell of cut grass, citrus smells, oranges, especially when they're first cut. Peppermint smells. And I would go into a Whole Foods supermarket, and they had a display of bars of soaps that cut, and I would always get the bar and smell of it, put it back. But they have different scents, fragrances in there. And what others? I can't think of what others they have. Favorite book or top three is the last question. And I really don't have a favorite book as top three. It's probably the last book I read is wasn't my favorite book. And it's like asking what my favorite author is, as my brother did one time. He said, "Oh, is Stephen King your favorite author?" To which I replied, "No, he's not my favorite. I like to read him, and I really don't have a favorite, and I really don't have a favorite book. I have enjoyed several of the books I've read. Um, I, I really can't think of any offhand that I enjoyed, or my favorite, or top three. And well, I this is running pretty long, and I thank you for your comments. Thank you for subscribing, and y'all have a good day.